Airwaves corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, happy Monday after a working weekend, my good little buddy.
Rudy, happy Monday, my dear friend. I swear it seems like I just left you.
I'm still wearing the same shirt I was wearing when you and I were last together.
Oh, I hope you
washed
washed
any consolation.
We were working hard, man. That shirt might be stinky.
Well, no, I did put on a fresh shirt.
Oh, okay, good.
And I have subsequently showered.
Excellent.
But I haven't necessarily changed shirts. I'm wearing the Resistance Radio t-shirt, buddy.
It is a fine t-shirt.
I make it look very sexy. Dominic had a big weekend. Want to thank all the hardworking people that made it a success, a tremendous success as far as I'm concerned. We broadcast the Democratic Party of Wisconsin convention, Dom, for 12 freaking hours on Saturday. I mean, 12 outstanding hours, don't get me wrong, but 12 hours. And that took a lot of labor, a lot of hosts, a lot of hard work. Dom, it started in the morning. Sabrina Madison and her new show, This Is Progress. Well, it goes out Saturday mornings, 10 to noon. And she was there. She was at the big event. Our pal Earl Ingram, the hardest working man in radio, he was there from noon till 2. And then in the early afternoon, we had Joe Costa-Zamaripa, and I saw her with Gordon Hentz and others. That was great to see. It was great to listen to. And after Joe Costa, it was Maggie Dawn of the Resistance, Milwaukee County's own corporate counsel and fine host on the WRD 1510 AM and Talk 92.7 FM. Hear her Thursday and Friday nights. Well, Dom, she was with us. And then I kind of stepped on Maggie. I apologize. Maggie had more to say, but the speechifying had begun, Dom, and we went to all the fine speeches. And, of course, you and I, we did our best to carry a little water between 5 and 6:30. And, you know, all the big names, the luminaries, they went out that night, and we came back, and we wrapped up the evening nicely, I'd like to think. And, you know, Michael and even Stu, every single human being that works in this company in some way, shape, or form, I think either had a part or contributed from the sidelines with commentary via text.
Or took some technical calls. You never know. It was a very busy, very fun, and very successful Wisconsin Democratic Party convention.
And the big race, the Democratic Party chair race, well, Dominic, Ben Wickler, and it was sort of in a landslide, running away with it, 5-1 over our friend David Bowen. Man, I feel bad for David Bowen.
5-1, really? That seems high.
Over 1,000 votes for Wickler out of about 1,250 votes cast.
I'm not clear. Your math is quite accurate on that.
Buddy, don't question my math.
I'm just
on
saying.
A Monday on the radio.
Okay, man. I will give you a break. I'll look it up. We'll drop it.
Wickler got over 1,000 votes. The Bowen ticket got about 200. I don't mean to rub it in here, Don, but that's the math. That's 5-1.
I thought I had seen something different, but I'll defer to your excellent memory.
And accuracy in this case. 5-1. It was a landslide. And I don't say that with any relish for David Bowen. I do say that pointing out the Wickler ticket. Holy cow, was that an effective ticket to win the insiders by that much. I mean, they effectively won everyone or a very large number of the votes. And it was, it was an exceptional victory. And I hope this bodes well for the future of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Because, Dom, you got to be very organized to win elections, top to bottom, top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket. And, of course, you got to have money and resources and all those kind of things. But you better have some organizational skills. Now, a couple little insights. Ben Wickler, saw him late Saturday night. And I know he was very cautiously optimistic. I was walking out all our gear, Dom, heading back to the parking structure. And Wickler had like visual aids and handouts and all kinds of stuff. You know, he was effectively his own labor, his own roadie, if you will.
Hey, I know the feeling, man.
Wickler said he had personally reached out to every single convention delegate and had made some effort to speak to every single one.
Wow.
And ultimately brought home a big victory. Have you verified? I saw you Googling there.
Yes, verified. You are absolutely correct. 5-1. Huge victory.
So congratulations to Ben Wickler and his whole ticket, Dom. And he's going to be a fine guest on this fine program today.
Yeah, all right.
You know, coming around, celebrating the victory. He'll be here in the happy hour, Dom. And I got to say, turning of the page for the Democratic Party in the state of Wisconsin, and I'm going to try and turn the page graciously as well. Martha Lanning, the outgoing chairperson of the Democratic Party, moving on and doing something different. And I wish her well in her future endeavors, Dom. She was, you know, acknowledged warmly on the stage this weekend.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's worked hard. No doubt she's worked hard. And we do wish her well. And now there is a new sheriff in town, and his name's Ben Wickler. And I think the Democratic Party overwhelmingly showed the confidence and support they have for this young man. And, Dom, I hope it's well-founded. I hope he doesn't screw it up.
Oh, come on. Everybody's human. But look, I mean, that's a huge victory. I mean, just looking at the numbers. And so a lot of people have faith in him, in his plan. And I look forward to seeing him execute it with efficiency.
As do I, and, you know, part of the plan, and I think Ben gets this, and I encourage Ben, and I know Ben gets this part. Talk radio, lefty talk radio. It's got to be part of the Democrats' platform.
Well, wasn't Ben an old radio guy himself?
My understanding is that Ben was part of lefty talk radio all the way back to Air America days. Worked on the production side of Al Franken's show. You remember Al Franken? He used to be on the Mike 92 point whatever it was down the dial from where we reside at 92.7 FM. But back in the Air America days, my understanding, Ben was in radio. And obviously, he's been a national organizer for MoveOn.org. And this state, it's going to be battleground Wisconsin, Dom. It's going to be the swing state. I don't think that Donald Trump can win re-election without the state of Wisconsin. Mathematically, sure. But if he doesn't hold serve here, if he starts losing these upper Midwestern states, I think it's all over but the crying for Trump. And, Dom, that's where we come in, and that's where Ben Wickler comes in. I think the combination, and I hope he utilizes this platform with frequency, Dom. I hope he's here every week. Hell, we'll offer him a town hall slot. Tell the chair what you think the Democratic Party should be doing. You know, whatever they need, we are here to support that effort, because hot damn near would not be able to take it, Dom, if my state was a red state come November of 2020. I cannot take it any longer.
It's a purple state. People need to be organized. They need to be...
No, it needs to be a blue state.
I get it, but listen, man, look at the last couple of elections. Very close. Every little bit helps. Every little bit matters on all fronts. So I don't think you can take anything for granted on any given day.
True. Let me acknowledge another thought here, Dom. Got to be a long day. I'd been there quite some time. I wore a suit on Saturday, and in fact, I wore a suit, no hat. And for much of the day, people kept coming up to me. Who are you? Oh, it's Crudy without a hat.
So weird.
I didn't realize that had become so integral to my identity as a human being, Dom, but eventually I went and got a dirty red hat out of the car, and I wore it the rest of the day. You know how I do. You know, just sort of clashed. I had a nice navy suit on and a pressed white shirt, and I tried to look
Hey, man,
very
fashion is how good you wear it. That's all, brother.
Well, I was wearing it well, all except the dirty red hat. But anyways, so it gets to be late in the night, and we wrap up, and the speeches are done. And let me acknowledge, not always acknowledged as a strong speaker, but Tony Evers had a pretty damn good speech that night. And I liked Tony's speech, and I thought it was funny. You know, this veto pen is the most powerful in the nation.
Yes.
How's that for boring? I mean, that was the winner line of Tony's speech.
Love the attitude. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Tony had a lot of funny moments during the course of his speech. Well-written speech, delivered well. Tony overachieved at the big event. You know, much like the Wickler campaign, Tony overachieved in his speaking engagement. And I even found myself at the Tony Evers party. Now, for clarity's sake, didn't eat his ice cream, didn't drink his beer, not purposefully, but, cash bar. We know what we like.
Yeah, I don't think it was my round that time.
It must have been. I bought all of them of the evening up until then. But anyways, had a couple drinks. And then noted Dan Bice, fine journalist, was not being allowed into the hospitality suite.
From the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel.
The party of Tony Evers. And so anyways.
So not allowed in. Like, what did you see? I didn't notice. So what did you see?
Oh, I'm always watching. Man. I'm like an eagle eye out there on the...
I'm less observant, I got to be honest.
Now, in the back of the room, Tony Evers and Mandela Barnes were taking photos with the supporters and whatever. Very nice, giving each group of supporters a little bit of time, a couple selfies. You know how it goes. And we were closer to the front entry, close to the bar.
We were by the bar.
Okay.
I was just saying.
We've just said it. So I look out the entryway into this portal of this hospitality suite, and I see Dan Bice and a big guy with, like walkie-talkie, like, no, shaking him off. Like, and I see Bice with his business card trying to credentialize himself or, talk his way in the door effectively. And I thought, I'm going to help our old buddy Dan Bice out. So I go strolling.
Hey, I'm Crudy. I'm here to help.
Well, I went strolling out to the entryway. I didn't say my name. I just said, Dan, there you are. Come on, over by the bar by us. Come on, Dan, come have a drink with us. Thought perhaps that Dan Bice, whatever the case may be. I just thought I'd offer my 2 cents worth, and I might even buy Dan a drink with your round. But anyways, Dan told me, he said, they're not letting me in. And I looked over to my left at that moment, and I realized one of Tony's people suddenly realized I was in the party. And maybe I was also on the ban list for all I knew, Dom. So anyways, I thought, I better go back to the bar. I better play nice here. So I did, and I came back in. And then I got curious, and I started easing my way back towards what Tony and Mandela were doing. I hadn't spoken to them during the entire course of the weekend, Dom. Very busy men that they are. And so I thought, maybe I'd go say hi. Maybe I'd go take a selfie. And I started easing my way to the back, and I noted that very shortly thereafter, the governor and the lieutenant governor, well, they left through a back door with all the bodyguards.
Crudy always shutting down the press conference, man.
Well, I just wanted the opportunity to say, hey, funny speech. I would have said something nice. I would have sent your regards along. You can feel quite confident. I would have said nice things.
What'd you do?
I was still in a good mood at that point. So anyways.
At that point?
Well, at some point, we had to carry out the gear.
Right.
And, so it finally got late, and I got one last trip, and I got briefcase over my shoulder. I got, the banner over the same shoulder. I got a 50-pound gear case under my arm. And I go walking out, and here comes the Evers entourage. And there were other nice people that were, greeting and smiling and shaking. I believe this is the correct order sequentially. Maybe I've got it all screwed up. But anyways, Tony Evers stops and starts shaking hands with people sequentially. And I'm kind of waiting for the people to clear. So I'm ducked behind them. I'm not really prominent, but I am wearing my suit and my red hat, so I'm always kind of prominent. And Tony gets done with the last person. And he steps one more step, and he sticks out his hand. It was like Ted
shake
Cruz
your hand?
Wait, I'll get to that part. But it was like Ted Cruz in Ishawaka, Indiana, when Ted Cruz tried to shake your hand. You got coffee, you got a camera, you got no hands to shake with, right?
Right.
So anyways, I looked at our governor, who had just delivered a fine speech, and I just kept walking.
Oh, come on, man.
And I was just a little exasperated. Not anything Tony would have done. Tony really hadn't looked up for acknowledgement. Tony just saw the next body in line. I feel confident. And, the governor stuck out his hand, tried to shake my hand. And unfortunately, circumstance found me in a position that here, for the first time since he had been elected governor, the governor extends an open hand to me. And I had to do like a mean girl.
Oh, no.
Because I wasn't putting down the case and the banner and the briefcase. I wasn't going to put it down in the hallway where all the drunks were at. So anyways, I want to say this right now for the record. Tony Evers, I would have shaken your hand. It wasn't you. It was entirely me. I was tired. I was a little crabby. Dom hadn't bought around all night as far as I recall.
Come on.
And so anyways, Tony, here's my point. There's always an open invitation on the Devil's Advocates radio show. I'll shake your hand. Maggie Gow, you listening? Maggie, I love you as well. Whole new leaf. Me and the Democratic Party. I love you all. I had a wonderful time at your little soiree in the Potawatomi Hotel Casino this weekend. And if I didn't shake Tony's hand, it wasn't personal. I swear to God. I wasn't trying to be a mean girl. I was just tired. I was just trying to get my stuff to the car. And it was like Ted Cruz shaking your hand. It's, not entirely analogous because, nobody likes Ted Cruz. But, just my arms were loaded, man. It wasn't personal. It was only politics. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. Tony, I'm sorry. Come on the show. I'll shake your hand. I'll give you all the love you're deserving of. That was a hell of a funny speech. I commend you, sir. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. We'll talk about the headlines of the day. Perhaps we'll talk to you at 844-967-2789.
The pen is truly mightier than the sword.
So, folks, let's polka tonight and get to work tomorrow.
I'm such a dick.
Very powerful.
Electric bikes are exciting. E-bikes improve your health. E-bikes give you fun things to do this summer besides going out to eat.
Lynn, I have gotten chubby.
Lose weight, lower blood pressure.
But is it going to cost me $2,000?
No, at Crazy Lenny's E-Bikes, we have bikes for just $690. Get outside this summer. Ride the trails. Get an e-bike. Go up hills without pedaling. E-bikes only $690 at Crazy Lenny's E-Bikes, 6017 Odana Road.
You don't have to buy one. Just try one.
No, you don't have to buy one. Just try one.
Hey, Milwaukee, do you have an office to clean out or close out? Don't call the junk man. Call my friends at Madison Liquidators. Sustainability is their business model. They'll pick up and recycle and refurbish your used furniture. They'll help keep your old office furniture out of the landfill. Find them online at MadisonLiquidators.com. Call Madison Liquidators, 608-831-1012. Madison Liquidators. Tell them the Devil's Advocate sent you.
Five Nines, your local single-source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dominic, Milwaukee got the DNC, but Miami, they got the first presidential debate. We'll go on the road. We're taking this show to Miami.
Crudy once again dragging me all over the country, bringing the heat to Miami, Wisconsin style. Join us for a live broadcast Wednesday, June 26th and 27th. And don't forget the wrap-up show in Miami on Friday, June 28th.
Special on-the-scene in Miami coverage on WRRT 1510 AM, WTTN 1580 AM, and Talk 92.7 FM.
The Devil's Advocates, because freedom.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show, streaming on YouTube, streaming on Facebook, on Twitter at Devil Radio, and the political party line. Talk or text toll free, 844-967-2789.
Dominic, Donald Trump is in jolly old England. Does the criticism have to end now that he's crossed the water's edge, now that he's overseas, buddy?
No, I think criticism on Donald Trump is open 24/7, 365.
Immediately before going on the air today, we were watching a little coverage of the, state dinner at Buckingham Palace. I got a few thoughts before we, get to the newsy part of the news, Dom. First and foremost, Donald Trump on his very best behavior. He's wearing, white bow tie. It's white tie, Dom. It's the very classiest of the classy. And Donald Trump seemingly is just a little out of place there. Seems a little uncomfortable in the penguin suit, Dom. Just a skosh out of place. And maybe it's the fact that he's always nervous like a whore in church because, he knows at any time someone could expose him for the corrupt bastard that he is.
Is that how you get in church, Grudy?
I guess we... Occasionally. Occasionally, Dom. A couple of thoughts. On the menu tonight, the halibut and Windsor lamb. And then the Queen gave a little speech. CNN commentary. They didn't announce the menu. But
I'm sorry, but so what was it? What was on the menu?
Halibut and Windsor lamb.
No cold fast food for the president?
No French fries that I saw.
No heat lamps?
But here's what I thought. The Queen gave a little speech, and she talked about the close and long-standing friendship that we have with the Brits. And soon, Dom, very soon, is the 75th anniversary of Normandy. And no one like Corporal Bone Spurs to go celebrate that important moment in world history, Dom. And she talked about the immeasurable debt that we owed to the veterans of both countries and the close economic ties that we have between these two countries. And then Donald Trump got up, and I swear to God, for a moment, I thought he was going to ask for ketchup. But he did read from a menu speech, apparently, a binder. They kept him on the binder.
Very fancy.
But he did give a few prepared statements. And then, Dom, they did the national anthem. And Donald Trump placed his hand firmly mid-gullet. And I'm thinking, is that where you think your heart is? Just because your tummy gets grumbling sometimes, that's not heartburn down there. You got your hand over your liver. Or maybe
right. Heartburn doesn't mean it's your heart, man.
It was like he was resting his hand on top of his belly. And I'm thinking to myself, come on, man, do it right. And then one other strange thing I saw as they proceeded into the very formal dinner at Buckingham Palace. I saw Kate Middleton, Prince William's wife, I believe. The very pretty, wearing, a tiara. And talking to Steve Mnuchin. I'm thinking, what in the hell did Donald Trump bring his Treasury Secretary to a state dinner at Buckingham Palace for? Why, because the guy's rich because he made Avatar?
Yes!
Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. Phone lines open, 844-967-2789.
If politics is boring, you're doing it wrong. Check out more at domandcroot.com.
It's a disgrace what's happening.
Hi, I'm Anton Capella, Chief Technology Officer at Five Nines. Five Nines is more than just our name. It's the level of service you can expect. We provide 99.999% uptime. That's the highest availability performance you can get. You have enough to worry about with your business data, web, security, and cloud services, so we'll manage your IT so you don't have to. Visit 59s.com. That's the number 5NINES.com.
The Forum, hosted by Sherwin Hughes. And Kim, you're on the air. How are you?
I came here from Dallas. I'm white. I was kind of amazed at how segregated Milwaukee is compared to Dallas. When people move to areas because they have, quote, better schools, I've kind of learned that's a dog whistle.
Yes, it is.
Especially up here.
It will not be what you expect to hear, but we will definitely give you what you need to know.
Us liberals don't always see it this way, but we need to.
Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to noon, exclusively on Real Resistance Radio.
You are listening to WRRD 1510 AM, Waukesha, Milwaukee. Always streaming at newstalk1510am.com.
Electric bikes are exciting. E-bikes improve your health. E-bikes give you fun things to do this summer besides going out to eat.
Lynn, I have gotten chubby.
Lose weight, lower blood pressure.
But is it going to cost me $2,000?
No, at Crazy Lenny's e-bikes, we have bikes for just $690. Get outside this summer. Ride the trails. Get an e-bike. Go up hills without pedaling. E-bikes only $690 at Crazy Lenny's e-bikes, 6017 Odana Road.
You don't have to buy one. Just try one.
No, you don't have to buy one. Just try one.
We the people, the hardworking 99% of men and women, only have a voice when we join together as one and amplify our message. Now is the time for all Wisconsinites to join We the People and raise our voices. Do you feel like you are wasting your money funding unaccountable consultants, unresponsive candidates, and their campaigns? Help us do something that really matters. Please join We the People. Give what you can so we can support progressive radio stations like this one, using the public airwaves to educate Wisconsin about what we the people want for our state and remind Wisconsin's politicians that they work for us. us. Your donations to We the People at p4ppc.org, a registered, compliant IRS 501c3, will always be tax deductible, will always remain anonymous, and We the People pledge to spend 100% of donations educating Wisconsin on the issues our donors want discussed, giving individuals a voice in the collective message of We the People. Please give today at p4ppc.org. That's p4ppc.org. We the people need you.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
For WRRD and WTTN, I'm Stu Daniels with your headlines. The Democratic Party of Wisconsin held their state convention over the weekend in Milwaukee and voted in new leaders for the organization. Ben Wickler, a former leader of MoveOn.org, was voted in as the new chair of the state party. Wickler is a native of Madison who moved back to his hometown last year after being a senior advisor for MoveOn in Washington, D.C. And We Energies wants homeowners with solar panels to pay a surcharge to the utility company. We Energies says people with solar panels don't pay their fair share of the fixed costs of energy transmission and distribution. Outside tonight, partly cloudy, lows in the low 50s in Milwaukee, upper 50s in Madison. You're listening to WRRD and WTTN.
I don't know if you know the Devil's Advocates, but they are kind of a big deal.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates radio show. It's a Monday after a working weekend. So, we might be a little slow on the uptake. We'll see how it goes. Donald Trump, well, he's crossed the pond. He's in the United Kingdom. He's darkening their doorstep.
Yay!
And apparently, at least in public, he's been relatively well behaved. He stayed on a script during the Buckingham Palace exchange of the toasts with the Queen, but ultimately, he's going to screw this up. And in fact, before he even hit the ground, he was tweeting at the mayor of London. What was he tweeting?
From the Washington Post, William Booth and Company. London Mayor Sadiq Khan, a Muslim and son of a Pakistani immigrant bus driver, has become the rhetorical leader of London's resistance to the president. He vocally objected to rolling out the red carpet for Trump and, writing in the Guardian newspaper Sunday, said Trump had used the language of the fascists of the 20th century. So Trump, of course, he can't have that as he's landing in England. Khan, here's his tweet, who by all accounts has done a terrible job as mayor of London, has been foolishly nasty to the visiting president of the United States, by far the most important ally of the United Kingdom. He is a stone-cold loser who should focus on crime in London, not me. He goes on to tweet, Khan, spelling his name wrong, reminds me very much of our very dumb and incompetent mayor of New York City, de Blasio, who has also done a terrible job, only half his height. In any event, I look forward to being a great friend to the United Kingdom, and I'm looking very much forward to my visit. Landing now! Exclamation point.
Well, Dominic, I may know what got under Donald Trump's, skin a little bit. A little burr under his saddle. I found this one at The Independent. Trump faces giant penis mowed in the field near airport where he lands for UK state visit. Here's what a teenager has mowed an anti-Trump message complete with a giant penis into the grass of his family home ahead of the U.S. president's UK state visit.
It's tremendously big and tremendously wet.
Ali Nancaro spent his weekend mowing the words, "Oi Trump," into his lawn near Hatfield Heath in Essex. The 18-year-old also used the mower to etch a giant polar bear penis and the words "climate change is real" into the grass, according to the Bishop's Stortford Independent, a often quoted source here on the show, Dom. The A-level student hopes that the U.S. president will spot his creation as Air Force One approaches Stansfield Airport, which is near Hatfield Heath, on Monday morning. Here's a little quote. Donald Trump and his denial of climate change are not welcome, and I want him to be fully aware of that when he flies into Stansted on Monday. He said, so a giant penis, the statement, climate change is real, a polar bear, and oi Trump.
Oi Trump. Crudy, that's not all the trolling. And well done, London, England. You people know how to troll.
Dominic, do you know they're expecting 250,000 protesters? It makes me wonder, what in the hell is wrong with us, America?
Crudy from the Hill. Anti-Trump activists project an image of USS John McCain hat in London. Chris Mills Rodrigo, activist goose trolling President Trump during his visit, projected the image onto a London building. The projection, which covered the outside of famed wax museum Madame Tussauds, referenced Trump's latest reported feud with the GOP Senator John McCain. And here's a tweet by led by Donkeys, a progressive anti-Brexit activist group, posting on Twitter, "Hey, real Donald Trump, we read the story about the sailors on a U.S. warship being ordered to hide from you because you're triggered by the name on their hats. So we turned Madame Tussauds into a giant USS John McCain baseball cap. Welcome to London."
Dom, didn't they also put some approval ratings out there on the building?
Yes, there's also some approval ratings comparing former President Barack Obama's approval rating to Trump's approval rating.
Well, Donald Trump's approval rating, I had read just a few minutes ago, 21% in London, and his disapproval rating, 67%. And wasn't Obama at like 70% approval rating, Dom?
See if I can find it. Yeah, I mean, it's...
While you're looking, I got one more, Dom. One more
The number's
sign of
probably
dissent.
28, 29, as high as 35. In fact, I even heard recently 42%.
The UK approval for Obama, 72%, and for Trump, 21%. Again, huge projections in London.
Dominic, I'm going to read quickly from the Daily Beast. In front of a bank of cameras beaming live pictures across the world, a single huge banner greeted Trump outside Buckingham Palace. "Welcome, President Trump," it read. The Globe and the president would be forgiven for thinking Donald Trump had been warmly received in London. In truth, police officers had weeded out the anti-Trump voices and placards from the crowd and forced them behind a 25-meter-high memorial to Queen Victoria, which shielded them from the broadcasters who were set up beneath awnings on the north side of the mall. One of the women kept out of Trump's eye line was Brenda Moreno, 45, who was born in Mexico but now lives in West London. She was carrying a 5-foot anti-Trump banner, which included a small Mexican flag, a pink fazooka, Jimmy and Pizza Box. They got those things. What are those called?
Oh, Vuvuzelas?
Yeah. A plastic South African horn. "Are you putting her behind a wall because she's Mexican?" shouted another protester, who was also forced to leave an area outside of Buckingham Palace where campaigners have protested against the visiting dignitaries for generations. "This is a farce. Trump is just bullying everyone," said Moreno. "We were chased back and they put everyone behind a wall. One of the police broke my vuvuzelas and pulled me. I wasn't breaking any law. Why are the British doing this?" Well, Dominic, my understanding, they did a little crowdfunding thing in London. And baby Trump, the blimp, is also going to be in London to greet Donald Trump. They were granted a permit by the mayor.
Well, maybe that's why Trump was so triggered about the mayor, because he approved the baby Trump blimp.
I strongly suspect it was the penis in the grass, Dom, because it was much larger.
The
grass penis, that is.
The USS John McCain. I mean, so what a job, though. I mean, and for real, and Crudy, you said it, 250,000 people expected. Media, again, from the Hill, multiple media outlets have reported as many as 250,000 people are expected to turn out for protests against Trump in central London on Tuesday.
Real quick, the inflatable effigy, talking about the 20-foot orange baby blimp carrying to mark his presence, the anti-Trump blimp. The inflatable effigy was granted permission Friday to fly in the face of Trump's state visit by London's first Muslim mayor after crowdfunders, not crowdfunders, but you never know. Perhaps the royal family kicked in, Dom. They raised more than $50,000. Khan wasn't satisfied with approving the visual gag. He also directed a withering tirade at Trump, welcoming to the city by comparing him, you mentioned this, Dom, to the fascists of the 20th century. I mean, that's a country that knows how to protest, Dom, and I'm going to read a little more from the Beast. Trump's thin skin inevitably resulted in him firing back at the mayor, as you talked about. Stone cold loser. During his last trip to Britain, Trump avoided the capital city in certain knowledge that he would be berated by large crowds at every turn. He relied on helicopter journeys well above the fray. That was more difficult for this formal visit, during which a rotating cast of royals, but not Meghan Markle, hosted the president as he inspected the Guard of Honor and visited Westminster Abbey and Clarence House. Dom, what about Meghan Markle? What about the princess, the American-born princess, the betrothed of Harry and the bearer of royal male child Archie?
Well, it's just, it's more Trump. Trump apparently in an interview referred to her as nasty. And then, of course, denied it when it was reported, referring to the accurate quote from Trump as fake news. I mean, he's literally recorded saying something about her being nasty. I don't have the quote in front of me, but then calls it fake news. This is how this man, and I want everyone to remember, this man represents us. Everyone who voted for him, everyone who didn't vote for him, everyone who stayed home. He is the president of the United States. He is on an official state visit to England. He represents us, and this is how he behaves. And you see the appropriate protests, and you still continue to see him deny reality. There is an audio recording, Trump, just like you grabbing him by the that you apologize for and later seem to back away from and calling that fake news. You are deranged, sir.
Well, Dominic, he, of course, must deny the reality of perhaps 250,000 people there to protest him, just like he denied the density of the crowds at the Women's March, perhaps as many as 1 million. We were amongst that huge throng, because both numbers, Tom, probably bigger than his inauguration crowd.
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
844-967-2789. Get into a protest or friend of ours. She is Chris from Sun Prairie. Welcome, Chris.
Hi.
Hey, Chris.
I just wanted to call. Hi. I just wanted to call and comment on the Democratic convention. So I'm kind of not on your topic. You kind of moved on. But I was there this weekend, and I have to say I'm really thrilled with our new chair. I think that he brings a real lot of energy. I think his campaign strategy to win the chair position shows us what kind of campaigns he will get running in this state.
Chris, were you a delegate?
I was a delegate, yes.
And had Ben or one of his team reached out to you personally and tried to persuade you to vote for him?
Oh, yes, they did. They did. And that is not actually what persuaded me. I was actually offered David Bowen in the beginning because I love David. I think he's a great guy, and he was the only Bernie superdelegate that stuck to his guns and voted for Bernie. And that meant a lot to me. But when I watched Ben's campaign, and when I saw Ben showing up in the places that I showed up, like when I went down to the Capitol for the Badger Care expansion hearings, and he was there. When I went to my progressive convention, he was there. When I've gone to other CD conventions, he was there. I mean, I would turn around at places going to speak out for things that were important to me, and he was there. And that really meant a lot to me. I really see a lot of energy.
At the Wisconsin Grassroots Network, I remember I gave a brief speech, and I looked out in the crowd, and I saw him stage left.
He was exactly. He was there. He's just got a really lot of energy. He's a great organizer. His background is, I think, just what we need right now. And I think just the campaign that he ran for the seat showed me what I needed to know. And if he runs our campaigns in this state like that, I think that he could really change the legislature makeup in our state. and hopefully motivate more people to join the party, because we really need young and progressive people to join this party. We need to organize. The only thing that's going to beat the organized money is organized people, and we need more people to join us. So I hope more people will, and I hope that Ben's leadership will maybe bring some new people in.
Chris, were you surprised at all by the outcome? I got to admit, I was surprised by the outcome. I mean, the vote outcome, like 1,000 to 200.
No, I wasn't, because, I was talking to other people that I knew that were delegates. I was watching things pretty closely, and walking around the convention is when it really hit me. I think I felt like I knew before the results came in. I mean, you could just see the support for him, and he ran a great campaign. He really did, and I really love the organizing background that he's bringing, and you just look at what his life's work has been, and it speaks volumes. I think this is the person that we really need it right now. So, I'm a big supporter.
Yeah, I like Ben a lot. He's going to be on this show at 5 o'clock today. Chris, before we let you go, I know that you threw your hat in the ring in the Progressive Caucus, and I know that you weren't satisfied with the outcome. You want to address that at all on air, Chris?
Well, maybe a little bit. Well, what happened was it was very chaotic. I was actually signing people in, checking credentials, and to vote in a caucus, you need to be a credentialed delegate to the convention, and you also have to be a known caucus member. You have to have been signed up for the caucus before the convention, and our lists were not very good. There were people that I had been at Progressive Caucus meetings with that were not on the list, and I knew they were part of the caucus. So it was a real hard thing to do when we were trying to sign people in, and I hope that that's going to be addressed soon. When the chair position was put up for a vote, I was still trying to sign people in. When we had gotten the people that were in the hallways all signed up and signed in and everybody credentialed, I went in the room. They were calling the vice chair. And I ran for that position. I put my hand up and I said I would do it. And I'd been thinking about it for a while, and nobody contested it. And I won that by acclamation of the room because nobody else stood up and nobody contested it. So we didn't really need to take like a ballot vote because there was no contesting. And that happens in a lot of races in the caucuses. There's a lot of people that don't want to do voluntary jobs, where they're going to devote their hours to the party for free.
Well, it'd be a boring story, Chris, if that's where it ended, but that's not where it ended, is it?
No, it's not. What happened was we are a new caucus, and our chair felt that a lot of people were complaining that they weren't on the list, and they were afraid that they weren't going to get to vote. And the vote had been over for a while, and the chair brought it back around and said that he was going to reopen the vote. And he did this, and then somebody else stepped up and said that they would like to run for it. And so there were people that were not credentialed that were allowed to vote as well. So the second vote was taken, and some people that had voted for me had left. And so the second time around, I lost it by 12 votes. So it's a little contested because, I don't know how that's valid. Once people leave the room because they thought they voted and they leave, it would seem to me that you want to put it up for another vote. But I think this is something that we have to bring to the party and, let them decide what the right answer here is and learn from it. We really need to do things better the next time around. And that's one of the big things that I'm pushing right now is that we need different processes. We need these lists checked. We need a way for people to actually check that they're on the list before they go to convention. And we need to explain to people that are coming to the convention for the first time how things work, how it works, what qualifies you to vote. Because I find a lot of confusion with people. People were coming up and showing me their receipts for the convention and thinking that makes them a delegate, and it does not. You have to apply to be a delegate, or you have to go to your CD convention. If you go to your CD convention in Dane County anyway, you're an automatic delegate. After that, you need to apply. You need to be a member in good standing, which means you have to pay your dues. So there's a few things. There's a few barriers to voting that you have to get over, and that process was not really clear to people, and we didn't have parliamentarians in the room. That's another suggestion I'm making. We should have parliamentarians in every caucus. Because you don't want the people that are running for office to be making the decisions about whether or not it was a fair process,
Right.
So I hope we learn from it, and I hope we grow from it, and I hope we didn't chase anybody away from the caucus. I hope they all stay because, change is what we're about, and, we've got a lot of work to do. We need everybody.
No doubt,
So that's
Chris.
where that went.
You haven't lost any passion, have you?
I have not. No. I'm going bird dogging, I think, this weekend. So, no losing my passion here. No. I do this because I have grandchildren and children, and I want them to have a future. So it'd be hard to get that out of me. So no loss of passion here.
Thanks for checking in, Chris. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. We'll go to break. We'll come back. More of Trump in the UK. London's calling. Take a bath. You can call us, 844-967-2789. More Devil's Advocates on the other side.
I never felt so much
I don't know if this sends a message. It doesn't make any difference if it does or not.
Wanker! Who here likes a good story about a bridge?
We the people, the hardworking 99% of men and women, only have a voice when we join together as one and amplify our message. Now is the time for all Wisconsinites to join We the People and raise our voices. Do you feel like you are wasting your money funding unaccountable consultants, unresponsive candidates, and their campaigns? Help us do something that really matters. Please join We the People. Give what you can so we can support progressive radio stations like this one using the public airwaves to educate Wisconsin about what we the people want for our state and remind Wisconsin's politicians that they work for us. Your donations to We the People at p4ppc.org, a registered, compliant IRS 501c3, will always be tax deductible, will always remain anonymous, and We the People pledge to spend 100% of donations educating Wisconsin on the issues our donors want discussed, giving individuals a voice in the collective message of We the People. Please give today at p4ppc.org. That's p4ppc.org. We the people need you.
Electric bikes are exciting. E-bikes improve your health. E-bikes give you fun things to do this summer besides going out to eat.
Lynn, I have gotten chubby.
Lose weight, lower blood pressure.
But is it going to cost me $2,000?
No, at Crazy Lenny's E-Bikes, we have bikes for just $690. Get outside this summer. Ride the trails. Get an e-bike. Go up hills without pedaling. E-bikes only $690 at Crazy Lenny's E-Bikes, 6017 Odana Road.
You don't have to buy one. Just try one.
No, you don't have to buy one. Just try one.
If you're like a lot of companies, you know you need IT, but you aren't sure where to start. That's where Five Nines comes in. Hi, I'm Todd Stryker, President and CEO. For almost 15 years, Five Nines has been providing IT solutions to companies just like yours. We'll show you the solutions that are right for your business and give you the roadmap to success in the future. Find us at 5nines.com. That's the number 5, NINES.com.
London's burning! London's burning!
The Devil's Advocates. Never personal, only politics.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Phone lines open, 844-967-2789. Sit tight. We'll get you in just a moment, but I want to get this headline out in a couple of paragraphs. From Politico, President Donald Trump kicked off his state visit to the UK on Monday with a complaint about CNN, the cable network he loves to hate, urging a boycott of the network's new corporate owner, AT&T. Here's his tweet. I believe that if people stopped, S-T-O-P-E-D, I believe that if people stopped using or subscribing to AT&T, they would be forced to make big changes at CNN, which is dying in the ratings anyway. It is so unfair with such bad, fake news. Why wouldn't they act? When the world watches CNN, it gets a false picture of USA. Sad.
I thought Trump was just angry because he couldn't get Fox News in the UK.
Oh, they have other news channels. Oh, they got the BBC. Let's take a caller. Wisco, Paul, you're up. You mentioned it. Welcome, Paul. What do you got?
Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. The United Kingdom has something called BBC News. It's real news. We don't have that in this country. And
well, sure you can get it in this country, man. I can watch BBC. Come on, man. What are you? We're in Wisconsin. We're not.
Hey, Paul, just preset 92.7, 1580, and 1510. We got you covered, brother.
Well, I know you can get BBC here in this country, but how many people listen to it? They have real news over there, and we don't hear. And
right.
Trump's an awful person. I don't know what there isn't to get about it. And hey, by the way, following Chris is really hard. She's really good at talking on the radio. It's awesome. And thanks for covering the convention this weekend. That was really good. It helped me out a lot.
Were you down this year, Paul, or just listening on the radios?
Well, on Saturday I had a lot of graduation parties to go to, but I was there Sunday so I could register and vote in the election there. And I did ask Ben two things. Well, I'll just go into one here quickly. How he felt about AM/FM talk radio, and he's on board with that. So that's all I really needed to know, although I knew a lot more about Ben, because he did contact anybody that was a delegate, I think. I think he contacted everybody, and Chris is right. He run an awesome campaign, and if I think the Democrats can learn a lot from him. He includes everybody, and I think that's what you'll see in the Democratic Party. But again, I applaud Chris for passion, and keep calling in. You're really good at talking on the radio. You're hard to follow, in fact. Hey, thanks for taking my call, Devil.
All right, Wisco, thank you. Let's get one more in. Joan from Madison. I can give you the last 60 seconds. Thanks for calling, Joan. What do you got for us today?
Very quickly, I need to correct a statement I made on 5G Thursday. The antennae are not going to be placed on trees. They'll be placed in open spaces. And the reason trees came to my mind is that they are going to suffer a worse fate. They're going to have to be cut down because there has to be a seamless flow of radiation from antenna to antenna. And the trees, everybody's worried about climate change. The trees absorb it and inhale carbon dioxide. They exhale oxygen. They purify the air. It's everything we need. The root systems absorb moisture against flooding. And we're going to cut them down. Last thing, the Chicago weathermen, especially Channel 7 TV, are vehemently opposing 5G, claiming it will set forecasting back 20 years because of the interference of the satellites that are up there now.
Joan, got to cut you short. Thank you. I know you've sent me a lot of emails. I'm going to try to read as many of the links as I have time to. Come back with us. Hour 2 of the Devil's Advocates. More of your phone calls. 844-967-2789.
Want to be more presidential? Tweet the Devil's Advocates at Devil Radio.
It's a disgrace what's happening.
Wisconsin, home to the world's best cheese, best beer, and best football fans in America. But unfortunately, Wisconsin is also home to something else. Tens of thousands of citizens who just can't afford health care. We're talking friends and neighbors struggling to take care of themselves and their families. Many working long hours, or sometimes 2 jobs, in industries like retail, construction, childcare, and agriculture. Jobs that don't always offer benefits or pay wages high enough to allow someone to afford coverage on their own. That's why it's time the legislature fully expanded Badger Care for people making less than $8.50 an hour. It's a smart investment for our state, saving lives and taxpayer dollars, providing affordable health coverage for our citizens. Get the facts at betterbadgercare.com. Then tell your legislator to take action today. It's the right thing to do right now. Paid for by Citizen Action of Wisconsin.
You are listening to WRRD 1510 AM, Waukesha, Milwaukee. Always streaming at newstalk1510am.com.
A royal welcome. Police make case. I'm Mike Moss. Queen Elizabeth is hosting the President and First Lady to an elaborate state dinner.
Visits by American presidents always